My name is Tim, you're watching Cybersport, and we're coming at you with the Rift Rivals out of Berlin, and with me, I have MikeYeung. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good.
I'm gonna go light on the games because we obviously don't want to spoil too much, and it's also very early in the tournament, so predictions and stuff, those are out. They're not really interesting. But I do want to touch a little bit on the on the synergy, so to speak, of Phoenix One. Since you joined the team, you still had like a few rough early games, but not to the extent that was to be expected. To be honest, there was kind of a stability in there, and you seem to be improving now, game for game. Most notably with like the insane smackdown that was in Immortals. Like nobody saw that coming. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that I mean, I'm not going to ask if these like flukes or anything, but what's the reason that you're slowly like coming together? Are you just getting to know each other better, or what's happening?
I feel that a lot of people in NA and EU, like the fan base just in general, has forgotten that we are a team that fresh came off of week 3. So a lot of the competitors, like competition teams like Fnatic, for example, have been together with very little roster changes for over like half a year, or starting at the beginning of the season. Same thing with like TSM. They've been with the same roster for a very long time now, but we literally just came in with 2 new players and a rookie, just like me, I guess me. And so it's kind of like a hard transition, like coming into it. We have to relearn how to work together as a team, but so far we're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there's been some interesting displays of that. I mean, with the match against Fnatic now, without going into like detail, there was an element of them like grossly underestimating what you could do. They went in with the composition that in no way could answer your engage. They couldn't really make their own counter. Sure, they had a sack, but apart from him, there wasn't a lot to bring the kill field in, so to speak, and there was nothing to protect Reckless, which also means that you saw it early. You guys caught them out. You caught them out pretty hard, and you actually snowballed the early game. What are you guys doing to like keep this momentum going? Would you guys like internally as a team? How do you prepare for this? I know that Crepo, former EU caster, mentioned at one point in a conversation with Froggen that he played with like white noise in order to prepare for stage life, simply because there's so much noise going on. Yeah. Do you guys do anything to like bring you together as a team to further the play that we saw today?
I feel that a lot of it has to go to credit our performance coach, which really prepares us to go into the game playing very confident. So, for example, our first game against Immortals, we were playing really sleepy, we were playing scared, we weren't playing our usual aggressive game, and we were respecting our the enemy team too much. So then the second game and the third game, we were riled up. We played the game our style. We played just like in scrims, and taking that lesson from NA in our game this weekend, we brought it to the Rift Rival stage. Since it's the best of 1, the first game always matters.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, speaking of like the execution and going in raw, playing your own style, there's a clear view that you tend to read your opponents fairly well. The greenness of the squad and the lack of history together might mean that the execution isn't always there, but you tend to see what's going on and you tend to like act on it. Mm-hmm. Who's the shot caller behind that? Like, who's calling these things? Because you clearly have someone who knows what's going on.
So pretty much in the first like 20 minutes of the game, as the jungler, I like to take that responsibility to coordinate with my support, coordinate with my lane, since I'm the one that has the final decision where I want to make a play. Because most of the time, like when you're playing with a team, the jungler has the most information. As for like if the top laner is like talking to make this play, he can like insist that the jungler like come and help him, but in the end he doesn't know what's going on in mid lane, he doesn't know what's going on in the jungle, the pathing, or the bot lane.
Okay, so that's technically on you coming in then, to have this like overview. How do you, I mean, you must be asked like 1,000 times, what's the difference between coming from solo queue, how do you transition to this, how do you transition to that? So more importantly, I'd actually say that now that you are here, now that you've set your foot on the stage, how do you train? How do you up your game to rise to that challenge, to stay like super competitive? Do you study anyone? Is there anyone particularly like looking for hints for, stuff like that?
I feel like most of the regions overall consider Korea the best region by far. So pretty much we study Koreans' meta, Koreans' pathing, Koreans' decision making, and I believe that that's the NA style, pretty much to try and learn as much as we can from Korea, as they have been the best team for many seasons straight.
Okay. In Europe, we tend to have, we didn't see a lot of it today, but we tend to have like a lot of fairly aggressive junglers. The early game is focused, and it's like a lot of Lee Sin, Elise, stuff like that. How would you say that measures up to like the NA equivalent? Like, how's your jungle meta, so to speak?
At the moment, I haven't been able to experience all of the junglers in NA, so it's kind of weird for me because I've only played around like 4 junglers in NA, and I'm already at the international stage. So as a rookie player, I don't know if like anybody's had to deal with like this, like coming from NA, literally playing about 2 weeks, and then you're hitting the best teams in Europe already.
Yeah, okay, I can imagine that's a bit daunting. Last thing, just to wrap you up before we go, we just had 7.13 hit. So this is completely new for all of you. You're kind of like going in blind, which is probably also why it's a bit chaotic for everyone to watch, but that's fun. Is there anything that you've like figured this will have a massive impact on your champion pool? Because I mean, obviously, Balmi's Cinder was just changed. You have more mana on Abyssal Mask or whatever in case of the champion pools. But does any of this like affect your particular champion pools? I'm thinking like Nidalee especially, that you seem to have a fondness for.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the meta will change more around the solo lanes in this patch. So, for example, the Galio nerfs, as well as a few top laners hitting the meta with a few changes as well. So, as for jungle, there's not very much change. It's pretty much just re-practicing, getting the perfect play style for yourself.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much. And for those of you watching at home, if you think there are any changes coming from this patch, obviously hit us up in the comment section below. For more on Rift Rivals, stay tuned to cybersport.com. Cheers.